For decades, the official story accepted by many was that Princess Diana's death was a tragic accident involving a high-speed crash in a Paris tunnel while being chased by paparazzi. However, there are suggestions that this narrative might not be entirely accurate, and that there could be a darker truth behind Princess Diana's death that the royal family did not want the public to know. In a video, the reasons why Prince Harry's pursuit of justice has put his family in danger, and the real explanation behind the decision to keep Princess Diana's casket closed at her funeral, will be revealed. Following the news of Diana's death on August 31st, 1997, there were numerous indications that something was amiss. Eyewitnesses reported bright flashes just before the crash, while some believed that the Mercedes she was in did not appear to be traveling at a high speed, and others claimed there was an unacknowledged second vehicle involved. Despite these claims, the royal family did not initiate a thorough investigation, swiftly closing the case and beginning their mourning for Diana. Her casket was sealed almost immediately, with only a select few given the opportunity to view her body before it was closed. Many questions arose about why her casket was closed, why a state funeral was refused, and why her sons, particularly Prince Harry, were kept uninformed about the actual circumstances surrounding her death. It is unsettling that the entire event was swiftly concluded, as Diana's body was placed in the casket within hours, which was in violation of French law requiring autopsies in cases of sudden death, and her body was flown out of Paris before sunrise. British officials did not commence an investigation until years later, primarily to confirm the established narrative, leaving many disturbing details undisclosed. One of these details involves the driver of Diana's car, Henry Paul, who was the security chief at the Ritz. Reports indicated that he was 3 times over the legal alcohol limit that night, but his acquaintances insisted that he did not typically consume alcohol to such an extent. Surveillance footage from minutes before the crash showed him walking steadily and speaking coherently, raising questions about the source of the alcohol in his system and the delayed release of the toxicology report. Various theories have emerged, with some attributing the crash to the involvement of external forces, while others suggest the royal family's potential role in preventing Diana's marriage to Dodi Fayed, who was a Muslim. Is it possible for the establishment to go to such extreme lengths to protect the image of the crown? There are some strange details to consider regarding Princess Diana's concerns about her safety before her tragic death. In letters written just before her passing, Princess Diana expressed fear that someone might intentionally cause a fatal accident by tampering with her car, even predicting a crash due to brake failure. It's astonishing that her concerns were not taken seriously, especially since the letters detailing her fears were kept hidden by her butler, Paul Burrell, for years before being made public. Furthermore, the decision to keep Diana's casket sealed, allegedly due to the severity of her injuries, raises unsettling questions about the circumstances surrounding her death. Following the fatal car crash in the Ponma Tunnel on August 31st, 1997, witnesses described the harrowing scene of Diana's injuries and the delayed response to her critical condition. Despite being conscious and moaning in pain, Diana was trapped in the wreckage for an extended period of time before being transported to the hospital. The reported delays in getting her to the hospital and the circumstances surrounding her treatment have led to speculation about the events that transpired after the crash. After arriving at the hospital and undergoing extensive efforts to save her, Diana tragically succumbed to fatal internal bleeding, despite being conscious upon arrival. The decision to keep Diana's casket closed has sparked theories about the possibility of her being alive for a significant period after the crash and the subsequent events that unfolded at the hospital. There is a question about whether Princess Diana died from the crash or from other causes. Her funeral was notably different from those of other public figures, as she was given a sealed box and a quiet burial. This raised questions about what was being concealed from the public. At the time of her death, her sons, especially 12-year-old Harry, had to endure the public mourning and walk behind her coffin without being informed about the details of her death. In the following years, both Harry and William started asking serious questions about their mother's death, leading to unsettling discoveries. There were numerous inconsistencies and suspicious circumstances surrounding the events of that night, including the quick embalming, immediate repatriation, non-functional CCTV cameras, and the lack of photographic evidence of Diana's body after her death. Many witnesses and individuals involved in the incident changed their stories or disappeared from the public eye, adding to the mystery. The possibility of Diana being silenced due to posing a threat to the monarchy, and the question of whether her death was an accident or part of a carefully executed plan have been raised. Prince Harry's investigation into his mother's final steps in the tunnel has the potential to unveil crucial information that may change the understanding of Princess Diana's tragic death. The official story remains vague, and rumors suggest that high-level involvement may have influenced the swift repatriation of Diana's body to London. French law required an autopsy before embalming, which was seemingly bypassed in Diana's case, further raising suspicions. The closed coffin was not just due to Princess Diana's catastrophic injuries, but also to prevent any blame from being directed at anyone. Years later, Prince Harry revisited the location where his mother's fatal car crash occurred when he was 23, and surprisingly requested to be driven through the tunnel at the alleged speed of 65 miles per hour, seeking closure. The experience deeply affected him, as he realized the tunnel was merely concrete flanked by pillars, nothing remarkable, which emphasized the harsh reality of his mother's passing. Despite his grief, he came to the realization that the tunnel itself did not cause her death, leading him to question the official narrative and prompting him to seek further investigation. There were unsettling details surrounding the crash, including the driver Henri Paul's high carbon monoxide levels and the mishandling of evidence, such as missing CCTV tapes and the lack of post-crash photographs of Diana. The decision to keep the coffin closed was explained as a practical measure to conceal a 2-inch tear in a pulmonary vein, which was seen as necessary to preserve the public image of Princess Diana. Despite the official ruling of the accident based on medical evidence, lingering suspicions and discrepancies prompted further inquiries and raised questions about potential conspiracies. After refuting the official statement regarding the reason for her coffin being shut, the question arises, what is the real reason her coffin wasn't opened? Conspiracies abound, prompting an inquiry into how they have impacted those closest to her. Trauma specialist Dr. Kenneth Max suggested that a quicker rescue effort might have offered a slim chance for survival, but acknowledged that the rare and severe nature of the wound rendered it inconsequential. This collision between medical fact and public skepticism only serves to fuel conspiracy theories. Following her funeral, Diana's coffin was sealed, shipped, and laid to rest in a private ceremony, a solemn moment for her grieving sons. However, Prince Harry, having walked the same distance in the same tunnel years prior, sensed discrepancies in the narrative, leading to a profound loss of trust in the institution he was born into. Upon learning the truth about his mother's death, Harry's world was shattered. Surviving the same tunnel where the tragic event occurred, he realized the crash could not have been accidental. The revelation of lies, manipulation, and palace silence felt like a betrayal, as the very institution meant to safeguard his mother seemed to have failed her, or worse, harmed her. The parallels with Meghan's treatment as an outsider, similar to Diana's experience, weighed heavily on Harry, ultimately leading to his decision to walk away from his royal titles, military honors, and everything associated with the crown. This was not an act of rebellion, but a choice made for survival, a stand for truth and love over tradition and legacy. Yet, the question remains, was this the right decision? The repercussions that followed may even endanger his life. Prince Harry, refusing to remain silent, has chosen to confront the forces that pursued his mother and concealed the truth from the world. Growing up under constant paparazzi scrutiny, witnessing the same relentless pressure that plagued Diana's life, Harry recognized the monarchy's failings as early as 2019 and took it upon himself to challenge his mother's adversaries. He filed a lawsuit against the Mirror Group, alleging phone hacking dating back to 1996. During a legal proceeding, a judge determined that hacking was widespread and habitual, confirming that Harry's voicemail had been repeatedly accessed. The news outlet responsible for the intrusion, the Daily Mirror, acknowledged serious wrongdoing and compensated Harry for damages and legal expenses. Not stopping there, Harry took on the powerful forces of Rupert Murdoch's News Group newspapers in a legal challenge. When facing the publisher behind the Sun and the scandal-plagued News of the World in court, Harry stood firm despite numerous attempts to settle quietly. His refusal to accept hush money demonstrated his commitment to seeking accountability rather than a quiet resolution. This decision had a profound impact on the British media, leading to an unprecedented apology from News Group newspapers in January 2025. The apology included a full and unequivocal admission of unlawful intrusion into both Harry's and his late mother's private lives, along with substantial damages and a confrontation of paparazzi culture at its worst. Harry's solitary victory held significant personal and symbolic importance, as it marked his reclaiming of dignity and his honoring of Diana's legacy by challenging the press. Not content with this achievement, in early 2024, he pursued legal action against the owner of the Daily Mirror, Mirror Group newspapers, for further unlawful intrusion. The court found the Mirror Group newspapers to be at fault and awarded Harry significant damages, positioning him not as just another celebrity suing, but as a royal seeking to expose a broken media model. His unprecedented testimony in court, defying a century-old tradition for senior royals, underscored the deeply principled nature of his mission to reform the British media. For Harry, The lawsuits were not about financial gain, but about upholding a fundamental principle and effecting lasting change in the media landscape. The repercussions of his legal pursuits were felt within his own family, reportedly causing upheaval in the palace and leading some to perceive Harry as a threat due to his pursuit of justice and truth regarding his mother's death. While the media primarily focused on Harry's courtroom battles, his actions also had a profound impact on an institution that had previously shielded Diana's memory and circumstances surrounding her death. Through his lawsuits, Harry compelled this establishment to open its records, metaphorically exposing their own shortcomings and betrayals. Many wondered why the royal family didn't sue with Harry. Why did he go alone? The answer is simple: because he couldn't wait. For once, he decided to take charge, break tradition, and lead openly. While William and Charles preferred quiet deals, Harry chose to speak out. He wanted transparency, not secrecy. Now, everyone asks what happens when the final verdict arrives. Will the royal family ever release all its secrets? Will the official inquest into Diana's death finally reveal the truth? Or has silence become too powerful? The cost of keeping quiet might be lives, Harry's, his family's, or others. Things look very dark for Harry now. After he sued some of the UK's biggest media companies, the fallout wasn't just in headlines. Behind the scenes, Harry's safety was clearly affected. He wasn't just fighting for privacy. He was challenging a whole system. His lawsuits accused illegal info gathering, phone hacking, and even bribery of police. If he wins, it could shake the entire media world and expose deep corruption. But now Harry will pay a price. Leaked reports show British counter-terrorism agents tracked extremist groups talking openly about harming him and Meghan. One disturbing report said Harry was targeted because he married a biracial woman and betrayed the crown. Online, fringe groups called him a race traitor. These weren't just trolls. They linked to plots that had been stopped before. Harry's danger didn't end there. When he served in Afghanistan, Al-Qaeda listed him as a big target because of his royal ties and military role. That threat stayed. In 2025, court papers revealed his name still appeared on extremist watch lists. Former bodyguards said Harry had higher risks now. Since he stepped back from royal duty, he no longer had official protection. His rising profile as a critic of the press and monarchy made him more vulnerable. Meghan wasn't safe either. U.S. authorities intercepted threats against her life. Security teams working for the couple increased staff during Harry's court cases in London. The most frightening threat came from Al-Qaeda after Harry left royal duties in 2020. The UK's Home Office lowered his security coverage then. In 2025, court. Revelations made it clear that Al-Qaeda had called openly for his assassination, saying killing him would bring honor to their community. Harry is now fighting to restore his former protection, but argues that the reduction puts his life in real danger. Even his son Archie faces serious threats. UK counter-terror officials warned that far-right and neo-Nazi groups have targeted both Harry and Archie. A senior police officer confirmed that Meghan and Harry are genuine targets. Experts and former royal staff members frequently warn about the danger they face today, referencing previous assassination attempts against figures like Prince Charles. Do people think history might repeat itself? We remember Diana's letter to her butler, Paul Burrell, just months before her death. She claimed someone was planning an accident in her car to make way for Charles to marry Tiggy? Was she paranoid, or did she see something darker coming? Did Diana know too much? Was she gaining too much influence? Now, with Harry's knowledge and power growing, could he meet the same fate as his mother?